very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1 live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Jadavdin.
And I'm Umitra Bekun. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
The 78th Independence Day of Sri Lanka celebrated with much grandeur. A stop to racism, rule of law to be equal to all. Economic benefits that flow to the lowest levels of society will be features of the new Sri Lanka, a guarantee from the president.
තනිව වේගී යන්න පුළුවන් හැබැයි කෙටි දුරයි. අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ වැඩි දුරක් යන්න. ඒ වැඩි දුර යාම සඳහා අපි එකට යමු.
The sacred Devdimori relics of Lord Buddha arrive in Sri Lanka with the sponsorship of the Indian government. Public veneration of the relics to commence from tomorrow at Gangaramya. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the son of former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, assassinated. Falling concrete slab injures child at multi-storied housing complex in Mutwal. A new revelation that 24 such housing complexes have been built below the expected standards. And on to those stories in detail. In your top story this evening, President Anurukumara Dissanayake says that the country will be built on the basis of national unity without allowing any division, racism or extremism. Addressing the nation on the occasion of the 78th National Independence Day celebrations, the President emphasized that a major transformational era is beginning in the education sector. The theme of this year's Independence Day celebrations was Rebuilding Sri Lanka. The ceremony began with the arrival of President Anurukumara Dissanayake at the Independence Square in Colombo.
Sri Lanka Prajatantrika Samajwadi Janaraji Garu Janadipati Anurukumara Dissanayake Mahatage Sampraptiyai Vihi.
The President hoisted the national flag amidst the sounds of conch shells being blown while school students sang the national anthem. Later, blessings were imparted with the recital of verses of Jayamangala Gatha and Devo Vasatu Kalena. A 2-minute silence was observed to remember all war heroes who sacrificed their lives for the independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity of the motherland. A guard of honor was presented to the president by members of the Tri-Forces. President Anurukumara Dissanayake addressed the National Independence Day celebrations thereafter.
We must restore our Sri Lanka and embody our independence, our sovereignty and our freedom when doing so. We must rebuild. But how do we rebuild? First of all, we must align our capabilities and our strengths. What is the main strength that we have? The greatest resource is the human resource of our country. Therefore, if we come to a firm determination to rebuild our country, we must transform our human resource to one that is competent in every way, standing shoulder to shoulder with any developed nation in the world. We must create our human resource that prioritizes knowledge instead of ignorance, progress instead of old prejudices, and unity instead of division. We must create a harmonious human resource through knowledge, compassion, and the integration of modern technology. To create that, we must begin the greatest transformational era in our education sector. We are ready for it. I believe that we will receive the support of the general public in this country for that.
The president emphasized that there will be no room for racism and extremism that would destroy the peace and unity of the country.
The main strength we have, the strength of our human resources, depends only on our unity. If we are divided, our strength will weaken. If we create hatred, anger, suspicion and conflict towards each other, our main strength will weaken. What are the two ugliest words in our dictionary? Racism and extremism. Therefore, we believe racism and extremism can only destroy and weaken the strengths we have. Therefore, I repeat the same. I would like to declare to the people of this country that we will not allow any division, racism or extremism in our country, and that we will build national unity in our country and transform it to one of the main strengths of our nation.
The president mentioned the importance of creating a country that upholds the rule of law and order and where every citizen is treated equally.
We must build a new Sri Lanka. Everyone must be under the rule of law. Our country must once again establish confidence in the rule of law. I think we know that no honest individual is afraid for the rule of law to be established, and every honest person expects the rule of law to be enforced equitably. But we know that those who ignore the rule of law and those who break the rules are afraid of the rule of law being established. Therefore, the task entrusted to us in building Sri Lanka, the theme of Let's Rebuild Sri Lanka, comes to life when we properly establish our rule of law.
The president also stated the importance of protecting the environment when developing the country.
The Central Highlands are the lifeblood of our nation, with the river systems originating there serving as its vital arteries. The rainfall upon these hills provide our land with the essential prosperity it requires. Throughout our lives, we have witnessed the grave severity of the destruction occurring within this central region. So in which direction should we rebuild the country in? We must build a state that is useful for our future generations. What is the result of Sri Lanka's development if it completely destroys and threatens all natural resources, all ecosystems, animals and livestock? We do not expect a development path that completely destroys the environment.
The president also emphasized the need for strengthening international cooperation and relationships. Pointing out the economic achievements achieved in 2025, President Anurukumara Dissanayake emphasized that the benefits achieved as a country should flow to the general public.
2025 was a year where the most progress was made in a number of economic factors. This was the largest progress made in recent history. 2025 marks the lowest budget deficit since 1977. It is the year with the highest revenue since 2006. 2025 also records the largest current account surplus in Sri Lankan history. It is the year the Inland Revenue Department earned its highest ever income. Furthermore, 2025 is the year bank interest rates were maintained at a single digit for the longest duration. Consequently, the country is demonstrating a very strong and victorious position based on these economic factors. However, the benefits of the achievements we make in the economy must flow to the people at the grassroots levels. If the lives of the people are not improved, if the lives of the people are not made easier, if the economic factors are not able to give the people a life with mental freedom, that economy will be one that is only measured in numbers. Therefore, the intention of Rebuild Sri Lanka is to build a new Sri Lanka where the economic benefits flow to all levels of people, especially the ones at the lowest levels.
The president also pointed out the importance of overcoming future challenges collectively without being divided on political ideologies.
As the President, myself, the Cabinet, the Leader of the Opposition, the Mahasangha, other religious institutions and all of us in this country must come to a firm resolve to rebuild the public service. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That is an African saying that is currently very apt to us. We need to go far in every field. To go that far, I will stop my speech by inviting all of you to join this endeavour. Thank you very much.
Following the President's address to the nation, military and cultural parades were held with the participation of members of the Tribe Forces, police and retired war heroes and others on air, on land and in the sea.
ගජරගෙන ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනු ලබන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාවේ අංක 6 සහ 7 වන බලගණවලට අයත් බෙල් 212 සහ බෙල් 412 වර්ගයේ හෙලිකොප්ටර් යානයි. ජාතික තජය රැගෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකා අභිමානයේ සමගින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා යන තවලෝඩ දහදක්වන අවස්ථාව මේ සම්මාන පෙළපාලියේ පෙරගමන් රථය ගමන් කරන මොහොත 78 වන ජාතික නිදහස් දින සමරුම් පෙළපාලිය අන දෙන්නා ලෙස වර්තමාන ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදා ස්වේච්ඡා බල සේනා විධායක සහ ශ්‍රී ලංකා කාලතුවක්කු හමුදා කර්නල් සේනා විධායක ලෙස කටයුතු කරන මේජර් ජෙනරල් නිලන්ත ප්‍රේමරත්න කටයුතු ගමන් ගන්නවා ඇති 76 වසරක අභිමානනීය ඉතිහාසයක් සහිත ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාවයි දැන් සම්මාන පෙළපාලියට එක්වන්නේ.
හැත්තටවනි ජාතික නිදහස් දින සැමරුම් පෙළපාලියට දැන් එක්වන්නේ වර්ෂ 1956 දී ආරම්භ කරන ලද නිර්භීත වේගවත් ආදර්ශ පාඨය කරගත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාවේ එකම රයිෆල් රෙජිමේන්තුව වන ශ්‍රී ලංකා සිංහ රෙජිමේන්තුවයි. ලෝකයේ විශේෂ හමුදාවක් සඳහා පමණක් පැළඳිය හැකි මෙරුන් හිස්වසම පැළඳ 78වනි ජාතික නිදහස් දින සැමරුම් පෙළපාලිය සඳහා දැන් එක්වන්නේ කමාන්ඩෝ රෙජිමේන්තුවයි. 78වනි ජාතික නිදහස් දින සැමරුම් පෙළපාලිය සඳහා දැන් එක්වන්නේ විශේෂ බලකායයි. ජාතික නිදහස් දින සැමරුම් පෙළපාලිය සඳහා දැන් එක්වන්නේ වර්ෂ 1979 දී ආරම්භ කරන ලද සවිබල සිත් අවිබලද ආදර්ශ පාඨය කරගත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදා කාන්තා බලකාය.
78 වන ජාතික නිදහස් දින සමරුම් උළෙලේ ආචාර්ය පෙළපාලිය සඳහා එක්වන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාව. 75 වසරක විශිෂ්ට සේවයක් ගෙමින් තාක්ෂණයෙන් සහ වෘත්තීය නිපුණ පිරිස් බලයෙන් සන්නද්ධව ස්ථාවර සාධර කලාපයක් තහවුරු කිරීමේ ජාතික සමුද්‍රීය අභිලාෂය සාක්ෂාත් කර ගැනීම වෙනුවෙන් කැප වූ වයිසත් විරාල් කාංචන බානගොඩ නාවික හමුදාපතිත්වයේ දරන දේශීය අභිමානවත් නාවික බලය ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාව 78 වන ජාතික නිදහස් දින සමරුම් පෙළපාලිය සඳහා මාත් හරසරින් යුතු එක් වන අවස්ථාවයි මේ.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාවේ අංශ 7ක් සහ වෙල් ආරක්ෂක දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ එක්කංශයක් 78 වෙනි ජාතික නිදහස් දින ආචාර්ය පෙළපාලියට එක්වනවා. සුරක්ෂිත සාගරයක් සහ සමුද්‍රීය පරිසරයක් වෙනුවෙන් කැපූ වෙල් ආරක්ෂක දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව අංශය රාණ දෙන්නේ ලුතෙනන්ට් කමාන්ඩර් මාධව වික්‍රමසිංහ.
78 වන අභිමානවත් නිදහස් දිනය වෙනුවෙන් ඊළඟට එක්වන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාව සුරකිරමුල් ලකඹර ප්‍රේමාපාඨය පෙරදරි කර ගනිමින් වත්මන් ගුවන් හමුදාධිපති එයා මාර්ෂල් බන්දු එදිරිසිංහ නිලධාරීතුමන්ගේ නිසි මඟ පෙන්වීම සහ නායකත්වයට ශ්‍රී ලාංකීය ගුවන් තලය සුරකමින් ගුවන් බලය සඵලව යොදා ගනිමින් දේශීය ස්වෛරීභාවය ආරක්ෂා කිරීම උදෙසා නිරතුරු දායකත්වය ලබා දෙනු ලබන ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාව ගුවන් හමුදා අධ්‍යක්ෂය පෙරටු කර ගනිමින් 78 වන නිදහස් දින සමරුම් පෙළපාලියට අභිමානවත් එක්වන අවස්ථාවයි දැන් ඔබ දකින්නේ. 78 වන නිදහස් දින සමරුම් පෙළපාලියට සිය අභිමානය කරන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොලිසියයි මේ මොහොතේ.
දැන් ඔබ දකින්නේ නියතයි ජය ආදර්ශ පාඨය කරගත් දකුණු ආසියාවේ විශිෂ්ටතම අතුරු හමුදාවල විරුදාවලියලා පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය අභිමාණයෙන් යුතුව නිදහස් සමරුම් පෙළපාලියට එක්වන අවස්ථාවයි. පොලිස්
මව්බිමේ කීභාවය උදෙසා මව්බිම ජයග්‍රහණය කරවීම උදෙසා සිය ශක්තිය එකතු කළ විරෝධාර සෙබළුන් අද සිය අභිමානය මේ නිදහස් දින සමරුම් වලට කරන මොහොත තමන් විසින් කළ කැපකිරීම මේ මව්බිමේ උත්තම නිදහස සඳහා හේතුණු බව සිත්ති දරාගෙන ඒ අභිමානවත් නිදහස සඳහා තමන්ගේ ශක්තිය එකතු කරන අවස්ථාවයි අප දකින්නේ. නිදහස් දින.
This was followed by a colourful cultural show. The 78th Independence Day celebrations were concluded with the singing of the Sri Lankan national anthem. A religious service was held at the All Saints Church in Burala, presided over by the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, to mark the 78th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, another Christian service was held today at the People's Church at Kirimandala Mawatha, Colombo 5, to mark the 78th Independence Day. Hindu religious observances for the 78th Independence Day were conducted today at the Mayurapati Bhadrakali Amman Kovil in Vallavatta. Floral tributes were paid at the statue of former Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake, a pioneer of the national independence struggle, at the Independence Square in Colombo. Independence Day celebrations were also held at the ITC Ratnadeepa Hotel in Colombo today. Independence Day celebrations in the Polonnaruwa district took place at its district secretariat. The Independence Day celebrations of the Sabaragamuwa province was held at the Ratnapura Municipal Council Stadium, while another celebration was held at the Kegol district secretariat. Independence Day celebrations in the Northwestern province was held at the Wariyapula City Centre. Meanwhile, Independence Day celebrations in the North Central province took place in front of the Walisinghe Harishchandra Park in Anuradhapura, while another celebration was held in Kakirawa. The Monoragala district celebration was held at its Pradesh Sabha grounds. Independence Day celebrations were also held in many other areas including Gampaha, Matara, Kurunagala, Kantale, Vaunia and Badulla. Numerous celebrations were organized across the northern and eastern provinces to mark the 78th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. An Independence Day march organized by the United Youth Front was held in Jaffna today. The march commenced at the Panay roundabout in Jaffna, proceeded along Panay Road past the Jaffna police station and concluded in front of the Jaffna Library. Several commemorative ceremonies were also organized at the Kilinochchi District Secretariat, the Kalamanchikudi police station and the district secretariats of Mana and Vaunia. Independence Day celebrations were held in Batiklo as well. As Sri Lanka marked its 78th Independence Day, the Sri Lanka Navy honoured the nation with its traditional gun salute, a proud tribute carried out every year since 1948. From the decks of SLNS Vijay Bahu and SLNS Gajabahu, the thunder of the salute echoed across the sea in celebration of our nation's freedom.
One gun, fire! Number 2 gun, fire! Number 3 gun, fire!
In 1948, the ship carrying the official Decree of Independence arrived at the port of Colombo at exactly 12 noon. From that moment, word spread across the country that Sri Lanka had gained its freedom. Soon after, the first ceremonial gun salute was fired. 25 rounds of gun salutes were fired.
The government of the United States has extended its heartfelt congratulations to the people of Sri Lanka on its 78th National Independence Day, underscoring a relationship built on mutual respect and a commitment of a free, secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific. In an official message issued by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on behalf of the government of U.S., Rubio highlighted that under the current U.S. administration, the partnership between the two nations has reached new heights, especially following recent humanitarian cooperation following the devastation caused by Cyclone Ditwa. The United States pledged to continue its collaboration with Sri Lanka to advance economic ties and trade and promote stability within the region, as well as to support the aspirations of the people of both nations. The High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, conveyed warm greetings to all Sri Lankans on the occasion of the 78th Independence Day, noting that India shares the spirit of celebration as Sri Lanka's trusted and dependable partner. The High Commission of India in Colombo also extended best wishes to Sri Lanka and announced that the occasion would be marked with the inauguration of the exposition of the sacred Devni Mori relics from India. Chinese President Xi Jinping has also extended his congratulations to Sri Lanka's President Anurukumara Dissanayake on the occasion of the country's Independence Day. In his message, President Xi highlighted the friendly and mutually beneficial partnership between China and Sri Lanka, describing the two nations as partners committed to development and rejuvenation. Meanwhile, King Charles III of the United Kingdom sent a special message of congratulations to Sri Lankan people and President Dissanayake, emphasizing the long-standing partnership and deep historical ties between the two nations. The king also praised the cooperation between the two countries in fields such as education, trade, climate resilience, and shared global challenges. King Charles III added that he hopes for the nations to come together at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in November 2026. The government of Australia has extended its wishes to Sri Lanka on the occasion of its 78th Independence Day. In a post published on X, the Australian High Commission in Colombo affirmed that Australia was proud to celebrate with Sri Lankans everywhere, standing side by side with the island nation on its journey toward peace and prosperity. Australia further reaffirmed that it stands with Sri Lanka today and always as both nations move forward together in unity and diversity. The Embassy of the United Arab Emirates in Colombo also extended sincere greetings and best wishes to the government and people of Sri Lanka on the occasion of the country's 78th Independence Day. 49 inmates were granted presidential pardon today in line with the nation's 78th Independence Day. The Department of Prisons said the inmates were selected under several specific conditions. Meanwhile, a special opportunity was given today for inmates to meet visitors. The Department of Prisons also stated that visitors were allowed to bring food and beverages from outside when visiting prisoners today.
Newsfirst with the people.
An exposition of the sacred relics of Lord Buddha will be held at the Gangaramaya temple in Hunupitiya, Colombo from tomorrow until the 11th. The sacred relics discovered during archaeological excavations at the historic Devunimori site in Gujarat, India, arrived in Sri Lanka today afternoon with the sponsorship of the Indian government. The sacred relics were brought to Sri Lanka following a special request made by President Anurukumara Dissanayake to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Religious rituals were performed for the sacred relics before they were brought from New Delhi to Sri Lanka. The relics arrived on a special aircraft belonging to the Indian Air Force. Upon arrival at the Bandar Naik International Airport, the sacred relics were offered floral tributes, followed by Pirit chanting. The Mahasangha, led by Chief Prelate of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Dimbul Kumbure Vimaladharma Anunayaka Thera, Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, and other invited state and religious dignitaries were present to welcome the relics. Following religious rituals, the relics, which had been respectfully placed on a special pedestal at the Bandar Naik International Airport, were transported to the Gangaramaya temple. The exchange of agreements between the Indian and Sri Lankan governments regarding the exposition of the relics took place today. Earlier, the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Culture of India had jointly signed this agreement in this regard. Today's exchange was conducted between Dr. Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, and Sri Acharya Devrat, Governor of Gujarat, India. President Anurukumara Dissanayake visited the Gangaramaya temple in Hunupitiya, Colombo to inaugurate the exposition and pay homage to the sacred Devunimori relics of the Lord Buddha.
Anurukumara Dissanayake Rattumana visin මෙය නිරාවරණය කරමින් මේ උතුම් සර්වඥ ධාතුන් වහන්සේ ප්‍රදර්ශනය නිල වශයෙන් විවෘත කිරීම සිදු කරනවා. පුෂ්ප පූජාවන් පැවැත්වීම සඳහා මුලින්ම ආරාධන.
The Sambuddha Puja was conducted under the patronage of the Anunayaka Thera of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Dimul Kumbure Vimaladharma Thera.
This sacred exhibition gives devotees a rare and precious opportunity to venerate the sacred relics of Supreme Buddha and the reflect of his timeless teachings of peace, compassion, wisdom and harmony. This year, due to the sacred nature of the Devnimini relics and the limited space at Sima Malake, the government of India selected Gangarame temple as the venue for this historic exhibition. We consider this decision a great honor and the sacred responsibility. It reflects the trust placed in this temple and the close friendship between our two countries. These sacred Devnimori relics are visiting Sri Lanka for the first time. They come from Devnimori in the state of Gujarat, which is also the home region of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This connection gives this exhibition a special meaning and deep spiritual value for both our nations.
This is a historic event that we are doing here today, and we hope there will be more such occasions coming in future. As an agency to execute this task, International Buddhist Confederation feels deeply blessed, and we eagerly look forward to bring the holy relics to Sri Lanka again. There are many holy relics in India. We do execute similar activities internationally in many areas and many occasions. So we are very happy to share the blessings of the holy relics with all the brothers and sisters of Sri Lanka. We do hope all the brothers and sisters and devotees of Sri Lanka will enthusiastically join this effort and then make it meaningful.
The Governor of Gujarat presented a commemorative gift to President Anurukumara Dissanayake during his visit, while Chief Priest of the Gangarame Temple, Venerable Dr. Kirinde Assajithera, also offered a ceremonial gift to the President. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harnyamara Surya also visited the Gangarame Temple premises this evening to pay homage to the sacred relics. The exposition of the sacred Devnimori relics of the Lord Buddha will be available for public veneration for a week, starting tomorrow, allowing devotees the opportunity to pay their homage.
Deputy Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat commended the long-standing commitment and dedication of the Sri Lankan government to uphold Buddhism in Sri Lanka. He made these remarks during an exclusive interview with Newsfirst Charlene Benedict in Colombo today.
Since your arrival here, of course, you were received by the government of Sri Lanka. What do you see about, what can you really say about the efforts taken by the government of Sri Lanka to enrich this cultural heritage, this Buddhist heritage in Sri Lanka, with, of course, extending invitation to bring these holy relics to Sri Lanka and then organizing for its exposition? What can you say about the dedication that has been shown from the part of the Sri Lankan government with regard to these efforts?
Effort of Sri Lanka government is phenomenal, just amazing. The way they have managed is above the expectation. Equally, India has done phenomenal. India has tried their best, and Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and central government has sent these relics by special aircraft of Indian Air Force with all the protocols and with the highest respect. So you can understand the importance of these relics, and the way I've seen Sri Lankans were having faith. They were literally connecting with the relics. So I have seen tears in many eyes while they were praying. I have seen confidence in lot of people while praying. So I just wish that this type of cultural exchange should be more, and the President of Sri Lanka and Prime Minister of India has done their best.
Sri Lanka Police outlined the special security and traffic plans that will be in place during the exposition of the sacred Theunimori relics at Gangaramaya.
We, the Sri Lanka Police, have made very special security and traffic arrangements during the sacred exposition of the sacred relics brought from India. And therefore, we, the Sri Lanka Police, urge all devotees to follow the traffic and security plans that have been adopted during this period. The sacred relics will be brought from India on 4th of February 2026 and will be expositioned for public veneration at the Hunupitiya Gangaramaya temple from 6 a.m. on 5th February up to 11th February 2026. So as I mentioned before, in view of this sacred exposition, a special security arrangement and a traffic management plan will be implemented in and around Gangaramaya temple premises during the above mentioned period. Since the sacred exposition remain open round the clock, please, we request the public to cooperate with all security measures that have been taken. And all locals and foreign devotees are very much expected to be more vigilant with your personal valuable belongings as well. The drivers who do come to these areas should drive responsibly. And if you need any assistance, guidance, you should seek or talk to the police officers who are always around the premises. And the Sri Lanka Police, round the clock, will be available to assist you. And when parking is concerned, you are hereby directed to park your vehicle only at the designated parking areas. And all devotees are very kindly requested that we will not use your mobile phones within this sacred chamber. And also, please do refrain from bringing mobile phones and jackets, helmets, any electronic device or bags into the temple premises. And also a directive that when you enter the temple, please do follow the Buddhist traditions as well.
46,635 drivers have paid traffic fines via the GovPay app in 2025.
Police report that a total of 46,635 drivers have paid fines in 2025 through the GovPay app, which was introduced for settling traffic violation fines quickly and in an efficient manner. Between the 1st and the 24th of January alone, 11,715 individuals have used the app to pay fines for traffic violations. The Expressway Traffic Operations Centre recorded the highest amount of fines collected.
A child was injured when a piece of construction on the 7th floor of the Helamuthu 7 multi-storied apartment complex in Mutwal collapsed this morning. The injured child is receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital.
A piece of construction on the outer wall between two apartments on the 7th floor of the Helamuthu 7 apartment complex in Mutwal collapsed at around 8:30 this morning. A Newsfirst correspondent reported that the injured 7-year-old was standing with his grandmother near a shop at the ground floor of the apartment complex when the incident occurred. The piece of construction had fallen on the child's head.
අතුලේ අදුදේ 8:00 9:00 වගේ ඇති මම උතන ගේට් එක ගාව හිටියා මම තව යාළු දෙන්නෙකුයි ඉද්දී එකපාරට සද්දයක් ආවා මේ බෝධිය පැත්තේ ළමෙක් වැටලා හිටියා පිරිමි දරුවෙක් අවුරුදු 7ක් වගේ ඇති ලොකු ගරක් තමයි වැටුනේ බිත්ති කැල්ල බිත්තියෙන් මාළිනිවාසේ බිත්තියේ එම්ම කඩන් කරන බිත්තිය කැල්ල ළමයි ගොළුවට.
The injured child, who was admitted to the National Hospital in Colombo, has also undergone surgery. The Helamuthu 7 apartment complex was completed and opened to the public in 2019.
දෙදස් නාදාමේන ඔය බිත්තිය පුපුරලා තිබුණා. අපි කිව්වා ඒගොල්ලන් ගණන් ගත්තෙම නෑ යූඩි එක. දැනුත් යූඩි එක කවුරුත් නෑ. සිද්ධියක් හැදුවේ නෑ මෙච්චර කාලයකට.
ඒක ඇවිල්ලා තව ඉදිරියට ඉන්න අපිට බයයි. මේ ගැන අපි දෙතුන් දෙන්න ගියාම දැනුම් දීමට කිසි කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා මොකද මේ වුනේ මොකක්ද සිද්ධ කියලා අහන්න කිසි කෙනෙක් තවමත් ආවේ නෑ.
ඔක්කොම බල යනවා මේක හැදුවේ නෑ. කොච්චර දේවල් කරාද?
Newsfirst reached out to the Urban Development Authority for comment regarding the matter. The UDA stated that 24 multi-storied apartment complexes, including the one where the incident occurred this morning, have not been built to the expected standards. The UDA added that measures are underway to uplift the facilities and provide the affected residents with a safe and secure living space.
The second phase of the LOLC Divi Savya Yumi Our Nation's social welfare program took place for the 31st day today, focusing on the Matale, Kandy, Kurunegala and Badula districts with the objective of renovating 200 damaged schools.
The renovated buildings of the Nalanda Sudarshi Primary School in Naula and Pilihudugolla Junior School in Matale were handed over to the students today. A renovated building was handed over to the students of Kongahavela Mahavidyalaya in Matale. Renovated buildings at the Dharma Vikrama Balika Vidyalaya and Senkadagala Virodhar Vidyalaya in Kandy were also handed over to students this morning. This is the building handed over to students at the Mavatupola Muslim College in Kandy. The renovated buildings of Thaldena Mahavidyalaya in Patulla, Valimata Hindu Vidyalaya and Sri Punyasara Mahavidyalaya were handed over to the students this evening. More renovated buildings of Sri Saranankara Mahavidyalaya, Vilgam Demata Vidyalaya and CWW Kanankara Vidyalaya were officially handed over to its students today.
A new constitutional reform movement aimed at increasing public participation was inaugurated yesterday, marking a shift towards a more inclusive national dialogue on constitutional reform.
The new digital platform was introduced yesterday to allow citizens from across the country to share their views, ideas and suggestions on Sri Lanka's constitution.
I think we should go in for a constitution with a futuristic vision, not merely a new constitution, but one with a futuristic vision. I have been always asked, what kind of model are you looking at? I have always said, no model to look at, but we will learn from other constitutions, especially of developing countries. Today we have 1972 Constitution and the 72 Constitution, both talk about the supremacy of the Constitution, but the Constitution is not supreme. Parliamentary laws cannot be reviewed by the Supreme Court. We cannot even review a British given law. Our courts cannot even review a British given law, whereas India has gone ahead. Recently, a few years back, it's the Constitution that should be supreme. There must be post-enactment judicial review, and decisions of the Speaker and the various committees, they cannot be challenged. There are some controversial decisions recently which are plainly unconstitutional, but there is no remedy. There is no remedy. We have generally accepted without protest this issue of parliamentary supremacy. The freedom to debate is different. Of course, members of parliament should have the freedom to debate without having consequences, but unconstitutional decisions of parliament must be made reviewable by the judiciary.
The launch also featured a panel discussion bringing together academics, legal experts and political leaders.
Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the most prominent son of former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, has been killed in Libya. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of Libya's former leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, has reportedly been shot dead. The death of the 53-year-old, who was once widely seen as his father's heir apparent, was confirmed by the head of his political team yesterday. A Libyan news outlet cited Saif al-Islam Gaddafi's lawyer Khalid al-Zaidi and his political advisor Abdullah Usman as saying that armed men killed Gaddafi in his home in the town of Zintan, some 136 kilometers southwest of the Libyan capital Tripoli. Gaddafi's political team later released a statement saying the four masked men stormed his house and killed him in a cowardly and treacherous assassination. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi was long seen as the most influential and feared figure in the country after his father, who ruled Libya from 1969 until being ousted and killed during an uprising in 2011. Born in 1972, he played a key role in Libya's rapprochement with the West from 2000 until the collapse of the Gaddafi regime. After his father's removal, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, who was accused of playing a key role in the brutal repression of anti-government protests, was jailed by rival militia in the city of Zintan for almost 6 years. The International Criminal Court wanted to put him on trial for crimes against humanity for his alleged role in the suppression of opposition protests in 2011.
A U.S. fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone that approached an American aircraft carrier in the Middle East yesterday as renewed tensions on the high seas overshadowed plans for nuclear talks.
An Iranian drone was shot down as it approached an American aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea yesterday. U.S. Central Command spokesman Captain Tim Hawkins said that an F-35C stealth fighter jet, which took off from the USS Abraham Lincoln warship, shot down the drone in self-defense to protect the aircraft carrier and its personnel. According to Hawkins, the ship was approximately 500 miles from the Iranian coast when the drone approached it with unclear intent. No U.S. equipment was damaged and no service members were harmed. It comes as the U.S. continues to build up a military presence in the region, with tensions high between Washington and Tehran. U.S. President Donald Trump has said that talks with Iran are continuing to try to de-escalate tensions in the Gulf. President Trump reiterated that Iran would not want another midnight hammer.
Where will they be? And what you need to hear from Iran?
Rollover, but they are negotiating. They'd like to do something, and we'll see if something is going to be done. They had a chance to do something a while ago, and it didn't work out, and we did Midnight Hammer. I don't think they want that happening again, but they would like to negotiate. We are negotiating with them right now, yes.
Speaking after the downing of the Iranian drone, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told foreign media that negotiations between the US and Iran are still scheduled for later this week. She said that Trump remains committed to always pursuing diplomacy first, but added that he has always a range of options on the table, and that includes the use of military force.
Well, look, I just spoke with Special Envoy Witkoff, and these talks, as of right now, are still scheduled. President Trump is always wanting to pursue diplomacy first, but obviously it takes two to tango. You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy, and that's something that Special Envoy Witkoff is intent on exploring and discussing. As always, though, of course, the president has a range of options on the table with respect to Iran. As commander-in-chief, I think they learned that quite well last year with the strike in Operation Midnight Hammer, which was wildly successful and obliterated their nuclear capabilities. But those talks will continue later this week as far as we're concerned right now.
Leavitt said U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Trump's most senior overseas envoy, will attend the talks on behalf of the White House. U.S. media had previously reported he would meet Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in Istanbul on Friday, with the foreign ministers of Egypt, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates also invited. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has previously warned that any attack on the country would spark a regional war. However, Tehran has not commented on yesterday's drone incident.
U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed his Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro to the White House for their first face-to-face meeting in Washington. The meeting between the two leaders focused on defying the fears of some analysts and advisors who questioned whether the two would get along, given that they had traded barbs for months and represent radically different ideologies.
A highly anticipated meeting between US President Donald Trump and his Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro has ended cordially. According to Petro, the two counterparts discussed the possibility of exporting Venezuelan gas through Colombia, as well as shared interests in fighting drug trafficking in the region. While the bilateral meeting, which lasted about 2 hours, took place behind closed doors, foreign media suggested the encounter was friendly. The meeting took place after months of mutual insults between the two counterparts, where Trump previously called the Colombian leader a sick man, while Petro recently said the US president was basing his immigration policy on the Nazis.
The impression I have from a recent meeting just a few hours ago is positive. First and foremost, that is the reality. Looking at the photos of the presidents of the United States, Lincoln was there in the picture. Freedom. We can be very different, civilizationally speaking, historically speaking, but what unites us is freedom. And that is where the conversation began.
Colombian President Gustavo Petro said his White House meeting with US President Donald Trump had an optimistic and constructive tone, and that they will work together to combat drug trafficking. Speaking from the Oval Office, Trump said, quote, "We got along very well and we discussed sanctions," end quote.
And we got along very well. He and I weren't exactly the best of friends, but I wasn't insulted because I never met him. I didn't know him at all. We got along very well, and we're working on that. We're working on some other things too, including sanctions. And we had a very good meeting.
Following the meeting, Petro posted a photo on X with a note, apparently handwritten by Trump, with the words, quote, "Gustavo, a great honor. I love Colombia," end quote. It also contained a photograph of the two leaders shaking hands and smiling.
And that's a wrap of your news for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.